we are ready to start the second lecture of today, which has to do with the Bogo Indian with knight bd2. So here we go. d4, knight f6, c4 e6, knight f3, bishop b4 check, knight bd2, and d5. So we have examined quite closely all the other ideas with e3, g3, a3, and all these move orders, where our plan is to play b6, bishop b7, and c5 in general. Now, a completely different story is this check. After this check, we go knight c6, and everything is different because we cannot make use of our pawn. What white wants to do is to get a very stable position without a counterplay for black, without any pawn breaks and without active play. If he can do that, he will enjoy a big advantage. Let's see what happens here. So e3. No matter if white starts with e3 first move or with a3 first move, as we will see, we get very similar play. We can transpose to one another. So there is some concrete theory, but it's not a matter of e3 first or a3 first. So let's suppose he plays e3. Now, we cannot play simple moves. We need to know what we are doing. For example, a5 is the move, as we will see. For example, if we play such moves, let's see what may happen. a3. And we need to go here. Indeed, this has been played several times, but our play is not ideal. Our play is not so good. He will go here. Yes, we can play all these moves, but in fact, we don't really have a great attack because we are playing on the light squares, but we have weakened the dark squares and we don't have our dark square bishop. So this position is strategically bad for black, and this is something that we would like to avoid. Let's suppose, again, that I play random moves. I castle. He goes a3, and instead of taking, which is usually bad, I go back. So he continues with queen c2, for example. I play such moves, bishop d7. He continues with b5 or with b3, and I find myself without any plan. For example, I go here. He plays bishop b2, and now we can clearly see that this knight is very misplaced on c6, and we are running out of plan and out of moves. If we try this, of course, he will push b4. So this is a strategically very bad position. For example, we can try something like this, but it's totally random. In order to play c5, he will go bishop d3. White may even examine this move, or just bishop d3. And our pieces are very misplaced again. White has a clear advantage. Move by move, our situation is becoming worse. So we cannot just play this position with logical looking moves. We need to play the best moves. So after knight c6 and e3, the wonderful idea is a5. We need to play a5. This idea, the idea is that at some moment we will insert the move a4 for black, and this will give us a lot of play. We will start playing on the queen side. White's only problem in this position, but a big one, is the misplaced knight on d2. Everything is based on these things in the coming moves. So on this thing, so we play a5. If they ask, what is your plan? a5, bishop d7, and when the queen moves, a4. This is our plan. And whenever he plays a3, most likely we will go bishop e7. So, for example, a3 in this position. Indeed, we will play bishop e7. How about such a move? No, we don't have any problem with this move. We simply go bishop here, protecting everything. These positions are very fine for black. So for example, a3, we go bishop e7, and here the move queen c2 was played. Let's suppose that white plays a move like this one, for example, bishop e2. So his plan is the same, to go with his queen back to c2, maybe manage to play b3, bishop b2, and leave us without play. However, we will play this move now, bishop d7. Everything is based, our good play, our good position is based on this bad knight on d2 and on this wonderful a5 move. So we play bishop d7, and he goes queen c2. Now, here is the question. What is white's idea in this position, and how should black play? What do you think? Is this concrete theory? Not here, but in some other variations, there will be concrete stuff, very concrete. So, what is white's idea in this position? If it was his turn, white would have played b3, very good. If he manages to play this move just like that, then we are left without play. The position is not without hope. We can play knight b8 and try to play c5 because white has lost too much time with his queen, but our pieces are misplaced. So I play bishop d7 here. Yes, this is a very good move. And the moment he retreats with his queen, we will definitely play a4. However, here, after a4, things are very different. And surprisingly, black gets very good game. We must not forget that this knight is misplaced here. White would very much prefer to have this knight here. And this bishop is closed. If white could get his bishop out somehow, this position would have been horrible for black, almost lost. So, however, after a4, things are not simple. For example, he castles, and now we can castle, or we can play this wonderful move. We are not in a hurry to castle because our king is quite safe on e8. We found a very nice spot for our knight. We were looking here, we want to play c5 in the long term, but we cannot move our knight here. So we didn't have a good square for the knight. And all of a sudden, we found one. We want to play a4. For example, he castles, and knight a5. Now our knight is looking at this vulnerable b3 square, and our plan is to go for c5. We need to make a pawn break in order to activate our rooks. If we don't make a pawn break, then we cannot activate our rooks. And of course, we will castle. Now, we are already out of book, but white is doing very well. Look, we must not always turn our eyes in our own problems in the position, but also in white's. Let's look at this bishop on c1, how to develop it. If he plays b4, it's not even possible. We will happily take it. And here we even have bishop a4 with very good position. So what to play? For example, he goes here. That's no problem at all. We castle. And now such a move, supposedly gaining the pair of bishops, is in fact totally wrong. To be honest, I see only one bishop. The other bishop of white, I failed to see it. So black has a very good game in very good position here. For example, after such a move, most likely we will jump knight b3. And after, let's say, such a move, we can prepare the move c5. We can play here and c5, maybe even c5 immediately. D takes c5 and put a rook here. All of a sudden, it is black who is taking over. Very good. After this, we already feel it in such a position that an isolated pawn is not at all a problem. There are other features in this position that matter a lot more than the isolated pawn. Very good. So again, knight c6. If they tell us play again a5 and play again bishop d7, and whenever he moves his queen, we go a4. Very good. So For example, again, e3, we play a5, and I tried the move bishop e2. Let's suppose that he plays a3. We go here, and in this position, he plays this strange move b4. No, first let's cover this. Once again, it's bishop d7 with very good play for black. He goes here. He is threatening to play b3, but it's black to move. We go a4. For example, he castles. We play knight a5. Very good. Can he just play c5? Well, we will soon break this pawn on c5, maybe even immediately in this position. Or knight e5, we castle. Can he play c5 now? Yes, he can. For the moment, I cannot play this because of c6, but we will play this move, bishop e8, and we are now ready to go for b6. Black wants very much to open up one line for his rooks. You see, does white have an attack here? Well, only with half of his army. The other half is sleeping. So, for example, he plays such a move, trying to do something. We will play b6. And now, if here, queen d6, or if he takes it, this is too much. Black is immediately better. We will play such moves and b5. Very good. In fact, after rook b1, even this move h6 is possible. This has been played one time in one game. What is the idea behind this move? Black wants to play here and get rid of this knight without blundering the pawn on h7. So, very good. Very unusual ideas. We don't easily find them in any other opening, and yet they make a lot of sense for both sides. So here we are. We see the perfect play for both sides, knight c6. I have some very good news, by the way. As we will learn, in this position, white can play e3, he can play a3. This move, if you can believe, black is much better than by force. Difficult to believe. And yet this move is, we may say, 2 question marks. You can imagine, of course, that half of the planet, who is not aware of the theory here, will produce this knight e5 move. And as the recommendations of the computer, black is much better by force. Very hard to believe, but you will see it. So again, e3. We go a5. For example, he goes a3, bishop e7, intending to play bishop d7. And in this position, he goes b4. That's his idea. This move has been played a few times. And now black will follow a nice concrete idea with dc4. Why is this move the best? The answer is very clear, once again, because my computer says so. So dc4, it has been played several times, and now white needs to play b5. Here it's an important thing to know that after knight takes c4, yes, you will memorize just a few stuff here, and that's all. In the whole Bogo Indian, we memorize ideas, and here we memorize a few concrete moves. So here black is better by force, and strangely enough, this has happened in a super high-level game between Wesley So, who blundered this with the white pieces, and Mamedyarov with the black pieces, who managed to win the game. There is this b5 move, very strong, and after queen takes b5, bishop here threatening all sorts of attacks, and queen g5 is absolutely only move, and now a takes b4, and black has a huge advantage. He's threatening at some moment to take on a3, and as well as some attacks against the white queen. So black is better here in the game. White even took on g7, and he lost very fast, as we will see in a while. So again, back right from the start. We give this check, play here. We receive this check. Here, knight e5 is 2 question marks. Instead, he will play e3 or a3. These two moves can transpose to each other, e3 or a3. Very good. So if a3, bishop e7, intending a5. If e3, we play a5, very good. So here, bishop here, and b4, there it is. We take on c4, this is important, and he must play b5. Look, surprisingly, this appears to be good for white, and yet white's pieces are very clumsy. We play here, and we will attack this constructure with b5, bishop c4, and queen a4 with an early c6 move. We play bishop here, intending c6. According to the computer, the position is at least equal for black. For example, here we play c6. Black is doing really very well. Here, and knight takes c6. The computer likes very much black's majority. We have seen a similar situation in a different variation. So it gives very good evaluations for black. And once again, white's big problem is this knight on d2. Even if white manages to play, so here typically we play a4 and knight a5, even if white manages to play this, and we will play h6, not to blunder anything, he cannot really play e5. This knight is very misplaced here. And black has good, very good play on the queen side. We are not really worried about white's attack against our king because the queen side is already open and we have very rich counterplay. Very good. So again, back, we are in this critical position. And if it was black to move, he would have played bishop d7. So we are not in a hurry to castle. If here, bishop d7, queen c2, a4. If here, bishop d7, queen c2, a4. If here, novelty, bishop d7, queen c2, a4. Very good. He tries queen c2 immediately. We'll come to that. For the moment, we are here, and bc4 very powerful. For example, b5, and now we can play both knight a7 and even knight b8. And again, this position is very good. Our pieces are a bit clumsy, knight a7 and everything, but the same goes for white. So white takes here. For example, if white plays this check, again, black is better by force. We play here, threatening the queen. He takes intermediate move. We take on c7. And here, according to the computer, intending b5, maybe even bishop b5. And black is better. For example, here we castle. And here, b5. The computer likes, once again, our counterplay on the queen side very much. So here, and for example, a4 intending b4 or intending knight c6, knight a5. Very good. Black is doing just great. So the first thing we are learning is that this kind of counterplay on the queen side is very effective. And that with a knight on d2, white cannot really develop a serious attack against our king. Very good. So finally, after knight c6, e3, a5, a3, you will learn to distinguish these ideas. They are very clear. Bishop e7. So here, white plays the critical move. One may ask, though, after e3 and a5, what if he plays this? First of all, what is white's threat here? If it was white to move, white to play and be better. Let's see. Let's say I castle, bad move. White to play and be better. Who will give the answer here? Difficult question. White to play and be better. So you see, it is once again a matter of understanding the position. How should white continue? The answer is, look, a3. This is anyway worse for black. I go here. And which move for white now, please? Which move for white now? Who will tell us? And now there is one and only move for white, which gives him an advantage. And the move is b3, very good, stopping all of our play on the queen side. Now, if I play this, no thanks, he will play b4. So here we mistakenly put our knight on c6. We were forced to play this move. And the only move for black to continue here is knight b8. The position is playable. Here intending the typical b6, bishop b7, knight bd7. But it's not only about pawn structures, it's also about development and about tempi. So white's tempi are better here. So let's go back once again. He goes e3. You see, we need to understand the position. We play a5, and all of a sudden he plays queen c2. No, I will not castle. What will black play here, please? Black will and must play which move? Black must play a4. Very good. He must play a4. There is another good move here. Bishop e7. Also very good. Intending to play a4 on the next move. If he goes here, for example, a4. If he doesn't go here, again a4. This move. So this is also playable. We play a4. For example, he goes here. We go back to e7, intending knight b4. He must stop it. I castle, or sorry, I play bishop d7. I don't castle. He castles, and we go knight a5. We are not in a hurry to castle. Here, protecting everything, blocking his play, and then we want to castle short. Such moves are usually wrong. We will take it, and here I will castle. We have stabilized our position, and we have a very healthy position strategically. If white had his pieces developed, then he would be better, but he doesn't have them developed. Yes, so it's a position, as I like to say, where both players are in bad shape. Both players have a bad position here, which keeps some nice equality. Let us check what happened, however, in this amazing game between Boris Gelfand and Ferenc Berkes with the black pieces. I have played with both players, with Boris Gelfand 4 times, and with Ferenc Berkes 1 time. It was a draw. So they are super high level players, both of them. And let's see what happened. Queen a4 check, knight c6. Now you will see the detailed play by both players. So e3 was played, a5, a3, so far so good. If it was black to move bishop d7, so a3 here, and queen c2. Boris Gelfand played queen c2 immediately. Which is the threat, and which move are we expecting to see? Let's clarify once again. Which is the threat? The threat is b3 by white, and we are expecting to see a4. Indeed, we saw a4. Now, if it was black to move, he would have played bishop d7, but it is white to move, and Boris Gelfand took here. He knows very well that this is an anti-positional move, but of course he has something concrete in his mind. And after e d5, which is going to be our main line, white plays this move, and he will win a pawn on a4. Of course, Ferenc Berkes is no naive. He knew this line. He was very well prepared. And here there is compensation, good practical compensation for black and good theoretical compensation. According to the computer, if you feed this position to your machine, it will initially give a quite big advantage for white. But when we will keep on playing and playing and playing, black will have a lot of compensation. In fact, very good attacking possibilities. Then, for a computer, this is a joke. The computer can never be checkmated. It doesn't even know how to be checkmated. But for a human player, that's an entirely different story. So after bishop b5, black castled in the game. White needs to take this pawn right away. If he castles, this is very bad. We play bishop d7, and he cannot capture the pawn anymore. If he takes on a4, knight takes d4, and black is better. So taking here is out of the question, because white has totally forgotten of the light squares. Now he is deprived of castling, and we can feel that we have tremendous compensation. For example, after this, bishop d6, intending c5, in fact, and we have tremendous compensation. You must learn not to care at all about such pawns, because there is a lot of play, and it's very, very rare cases where white can consolidate in such position with his extra pawn and safely lead the position to his victory. So after bishop b5, we clearly explained how and why we are getting to this point by force. And here, Gelfand took the pawn, and black played bishop d6. There is good compensation for the pawn. Previously, before this game, Gelfand-Berkes, there were two games with this move, bishop d7. This move is also playable, but after taking and castling, there is compensation, but maybe not enough. You will see I have included these two games in the game session. But Berkes' preparation was deeper. He played bishop d6, and there is compensation, good compensation. White castles, we don't count pawns, and rook e8. White has some very good positional characteristics here. Sorry, black. Black has some very good positional characteristics. He has very fast development. His pieces are very ready for an attack. Even this rook is putting pressure on the a file, and at some moment can even join the attack through the sixth rank. But there is only one problem, but a big one. A pawn is missing. So as we say in such positions, the only good thing about white's position is his extra pawn. If we just put a pawn on a6 for black here, black is better, much better. But this extra pawn, of course, means a lot. So b4, if he takes here and he plays b3, let's see some analysis. Queen takes c6. This is very dangerous. We play rook a6 this time, not bishop a6, because he has already castled. And after this, we can see what black will play here. Who will help us? What should black play in this position? I wonder what is the theory. What is the theory in this position? There is no theory. This is just analysis. Yes, theory is over. So black will play knight e4, followed by some powerful attack. And for example, b3, bishop g4 with very strong attack. Yes, white can probably take here. Then we will take with the pawn and play this move, because if he goes here, most likely he will be checkmated after bishop takes h2. So he goes here, returning one of the pawns for an attack, in order to defend. And here black has counterplay. I'm not sure if he should capture this one pawn, or if he should play such a move, queen h4, for example, intending to capture the knight, or maybe to take here, and after taking this move, queen h4, we are losing two pawns. But look, this is coming somewhere here with a very powerful attack. So we have very strong practical compensation here. Very good. You know, after all the moves, we have strong practical compensation. So first we examine this one, takes, and for example, here, I don't really want to take this pawn on e5. We should rather play c5 when we sacrifice a pawn or two, remember, very often we should not get carried away and grab the pawn back immediately and losing all the dynamism of our position. So c5, b3, we take here, and c5 again. Black has very nice counterplay. What is happening if the perfect moves are played here? I have the feeling it's a draw. So here, yes, queen c7. We are threatening this pawn on h2, and we have enough compensation. Of course, this knowledge here, these moves have never been played before. This knowledge exists most likely in the laptops of some grandmasters around the world. Yes, so they are nowhere to be found. So bishop d6, castles, rook here. Can white play a novelty here? For example, I produce this novelty, bishop b5. Okay, it can be done, but I don't see any huge difference. The general characteristics of the position do not change. I will play rook e8, and after castling, I will play either bishop g4 or this move knight e4 with a strong attack for the pawn. So here, for example, I don't even know what to suggest. This move, bishop f5, is coming. Now, after this, we even have knight b4. You see, there is energy with this rook. So here, and I see this only move. And now black is better. For example, rook e6. And we will continue with a very powerful attack because I didn't play the best moves for white, obviously. Very good. So again, how did we get here? Check. Knight bd2, d5, and he plays the best move, queen a4 check, which changes everything. Now we have this active game. We want to play a5, bishop d7. He plays here, a5. He plays here, bishop d7. He plays queen c2, a4, which is in fact a pawn gambit. We are threatening to play bishop d7. He takes it. He plays this. We castle. He can have all of our pawns here. Bishop d6, castles, and rook e8 with very good play. So far we examine bishop takes c6. Here is another move b4. And knight takes b4 was played. This is in fact the game between Gelfand and Berkes. So here and b5. Black has enough compensation for a draw here. They reached this position. White is up a pawn, but black has good control of the light squares, and he has good compensation for a draw. Later, though, black played better, and he even managed to win. He played this good g6 move, intending bishop f5. Black is not worried about being checkmated on the dark squares because this bishop is locked behind the pawn chain. So he played g6 to activate the bishop. Yes, with perfect play, this should be a draw, but there was one mistake along the way. You see, black is not afraid. He has very good strategical characteristics. So here he exchanged it. He played queen e2, and all of a sudden he was better. Around this point, h5, he had strong compensation, positional compensation, and he was better. He managed to win with some nice combinations in the end. Very good. Save. Yes. Okay. So this is the general description of this gambit. Although this position has been played several times, this gambit has only been played a few times. And now let's add something important to our knowledge. Here you will spend some time, yes, studying these lines, of course. Yes, you will spend some time. Most players won't even play queen a4 check, but you can play this line equipped with the general ideas and even better with some concrete knowledge. So let's add something to our knowledge now. White plays a3. We go here. Once again, our plan is to play a5 and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, white plays b4 immediately. Here we take on c4. All of a sudden then, Look, a different story. White plays here immediately. Queen c2 immediately. White appears to be very fast with consolidating his position. Now, our usual plan a5 will not work. He will play b3. However, our position is really very good. Black has two very good ways to play, and here they are. a5. Now, if white goes e3, we play a4 and we enter the game Berke's Gelfand. So he plays b3. Now, on his next move, he wants to play e3 or bishop b2 to consolidate. But look, what is the difference this time? This time, the difference is that, unfortunately for white, he cannot capture on c4 with a piece. He needs to capture with a queen. And so, after capturing with the queen, white has also lost too much time by playing queen a4, queen c2, queen c4. In the first 9 moves, 3 of his moves were with his queen. This gives black the time to play this amazing move, knight b8, and even knight a7. Wonderful chess. Please don't play such chess, knight b8 and knight a7, unless it is theory. It is working only in the Bogo Indian. I don't want to see you playing knight a7 in any other chess position in the world. It's going to be 2 question marks most likely. No matter if you play it or I play it or Carlsen plays it. Yes, such moves here and here work only if they are theory. So knight b8, for example, here we play b6. Once again, if he goes here, look, what is his problem? If he goes here, his problem is that with his knight on d2, he's not threatening e5. Let's say I play this move. Look, intending c5, which is our plan. He can never play this. If this was here, white would have been very happy with e5. So, for example, he plays this, and c5, black gets a great game, or he plays this, because we are even threatening such ideas. Queen c2, and bishop here, c5, black gets a very good game. Rook c8, we are getting a very good game, very nice counterplay. So let's go back again. What have we described? We have described white's idea of playing a very early queen c2 move before we even play a5, a4. Here it is, queen c2 very early. But what is his problem? After a5, he doesn't have enough time to play 2 moves, b3 and e3. b3 stopping a4, and e3 protecting d4. He can play only 1 move. He chooses this move, stopping a4, but this is the key move which leads to equality, forcing white to play an ugly move, queen takes c4. Well, queen takes c4, and now knight here, or even knight here is absolutely playable. For example, here or e3. This comes with tempo. Look, our development is extremely fast. Bishop here, extremely fast development. And this is coming here before you know, and c5 is coming. So you see, white here in the first, again, in the first, how many, 11 moves, he moved 4 times his queen. So that's why our tempi are very good. Okay, so this is the story. It's not as confusing as you think because things are quite forced for both sides. Let us now check some games and let's see how humans play. I repeat, what is the difference between studying theory, as we did a while ago, and studying games? Games are not perfect. The games are played by good players, very good players, but not as strong as my computer, right? That's the difference. So here, both players will be making mistakes no matter who they are. So c4 is 6. And of course, if we get to play now in our games, we will also make mistakes. when our concrete knowledge is over. So here, d5, and this is chess. d5, check. This is a bleach game between famous female player Alina Kashlinskaya and with a rating of close to 2500, and Skapenko Pavel, very good player also with a rating of 2424. So knight c6, let's see, and e3. Our move is a5 followed by bishop d7. Indeed, a5. Let's calculate for a second what is wrong with this move. Who will calculate? Strategically, not wrong. Yes, it doesn't blunder anything. What is wrong with this move? Who will tell us what is wrong with this move? And we need to start with a4. So who will tell us? Why is white better here? Let's see. What is wrong? Very good. So white will play queen c2. And after a5, we are not in time. We are threatening a4. But what will white play? White will play a3. In fact, even this makes sense, but here I'm tempted to make a gambit a4. So he will play this move. I don't want to give this bishop here under any circumstances. We will be worse. So we are playing here. And of course, white will be very happy to play which move, please? Very, very happy to play which move? To play b3, of course. And again, we're in a place where we do not want to be. So the correct move is a5. And if he goes back, there you go, a4. Very good. So a5 was played indeed. a3, bishop e7. And here white played c5. Not really a good move because black will soon break this pawn. So bishop d7, and white played bishop b5. After this, we have no doubt black will play a4. And after bishop d3, I see two good moves for black. We can also castle, but I don't see any real reason to castle. I see two good moves for black. Who will help us? Which are the two good moves for black? Let's see. Which are the two good moves for black? One move is definitely knight a5. And the other move to examine is b6. Both moves are very good. So here, c takes b6. And now, after c takes b6, I am very happy because black has opened up a file on the queen side. And now he can put his rooks there. Now it's white who has to solve his problems with this bishop on c1. So, for example, he castles knight a5. And here we can just castle. If he takes on d7, queen takes d7. And only white is left with his problems. For example, after this, intending to step away from a rook c8 move, black has a big advantage with after b5. Big advantage for black. This knight will soon come here or here if this knight moves away, and we are better. According to the computer, even this move is good. Bishop e8 first, and after this, b5. So no matter what, this bishop from e8, which is our bad bishop, is still much better than this bishop on c1. So black is doing great. Black is taking over very easily. His counterplay is not to be underestimated. So after c5, bishop d7, bishop b5 was played, castles and castles. And let's find a plan for black now and a concrete move. Let's see, what should black play? Let's think about it. I see several interesting ideas. I see at least two interesting ideas. So one interesting move that I see is queen e8. Look at this wonderful move. And indeed, I'm right. Yes, according to the computer, queen e8, black is better. What is our plan after queen e8, of course? What is our plan? Who will tell us? We are not threatening this, unfortunately, because knight takes d4. We can play this move, but it doesn't offer much. Okay, bishop d7 and take here or something. But our plan is to break with b6. At all cost, we want to make pawn play. So queen e8, the idea of queen e8 is to play b6 without losing this knight on c6. For example, here he is even losing a pawn. Queen b3, b6 with very good play. In fact, after this, the computer even suggests a4 as a very powerful move. And knight takes d4, black is much better. Okay, very good. Even this would have been good. Now we have a feeling, we have a feeling for these positions. We understand that even here, he may even lose his queen, but we understand that there is a lot of compensation with these bad pieces of white. Very. So we believe a lot in our counterplay on the queen side because white is underdeveloped and he doesn't really have any great play on the king side. Make no mistake, it's all because of this misplaced knight. If I put it here, it's an entirely different story. Okay, so let's see. Bishop here, castles, castles. Queen e8 was very strong, intending b6. How did I find the move queen e8? How do experienced good players, high-level players, find the good moves? Out of need. I feel the need to play b6 without blundering. The need is leading me to the right direction, sometimes also to the wrong direction. The need is leading us. Yes, we feel the need to play b6. In the game, knight b8 was played. Indeed, this is also entirely playable. The idea is again to take the bishop and play b6. So he took here and queen takes. Black has a nice game. Quite often here we may take with a knight from f6. Knight b takes. If it was black to move here, what would black play? The game is not over. If it was black to move, what would he play? Let's say if I play this random move. How should black continue here? Who will tell us? Again, once again, there is no doubt. We have the feeling of these positions. Of course, we will play here, and our plan is to prepare this move somehow without allowing c6. c6 must be good for us. Otherwise, we will play c6 first and then rook b8 and b6. Yes? So a4, white is even more cramped here. Black is doing very well. Soon we will play b6, forcing c takes b6. So he takes it, queen takes, and the correct move is b3 indeed. And now it's a question for black whether he can play b6. He played c6, which is more safe, but this move is important. because if we can play it, we are having a great game. After taking, we may consider both moves, but this is the most simple. Look, this is not so equal. Rook f to c8, rook here, and now which move should black play? Possibly b5. This is not equal. We have the positive. It may be equal, but we have the positive side of equality. Another playable move may even be this, intending to go here, or just b5. So now we start playing for a win. Look, for example, if he plays passively like this, let me play either a4 here. I think our pawn is safe enough with a knight b6 move. And if he closes the position in order for us not to have this pawn as a target, now black has a free hand on the king side. There is still a lot of play. We can play such moves here, or knight c4 with lots of play. White was done with his effort, finished with his effort to play for a win, and now it's our turn. So you see why grandmasters play for so many moves, because if we don't continue with black here, why did we even come to the chessboard? What did we come to do? To defend, and if our defense is successful and we avoid losing, how about winning? No, there is no such question. When we equalize, we offer draw. Of course not. We are forced to play. We will continue to play for hundreds of moves because this is what we got. We haven't made any mistake. We got the positive side of equality. We are forced to continue playing. Okay, let's check another game now. So here we are. Let's check this game between Grandmaster Levic with the white pieces and Grandmaster Zelcic with the black pieces. This game was played in 2021. They are both around 25-40, very high level grandmasters. So here, d5, check, knight c6, intending a5, e3, a5 right away. Bishop e2 was played, and now black must play bishop d7. He did it. Queen c2, and now a4. Bravo. a4 needs to be played. It doesn't matter if white goes a3 or if he doesn't go a3. So he castles and black castles. In my view, I don't know now if this move is possible. No, I don't believe so. We will play b6. We will break it. And if a3, we will capture on d2. What can we do? If we want to avoid that, then after castling, we need to be a little bit more careful and play this move first. Bishop here first, with good play for black. Let's see what happened. He castles, a3, bishop e7, and we are in our position with good play for black. Knight here, black played bishop e8. The way I see it, another totally playable move is this knight a5. And now let's suppose that white plays here. In fact, this is a very bad move in my view, because white is trying to attack with only half of his army. The bishop on c1, the rook on a1, all these pieces are sleeping. So his attack is going to fail. Imagine such play here and all these moves. Black will be very happy to see all these moves because white has abandoned his development and he's trying to win with half of his army. This is usually impossible. So after f4, how should black continue, please? Who will help us? Let's see. I don't have any doubt how black should play here. Who will help us? I will give the answer. The correct move for black should definitely be c5, of course, with very good play on the queen side. White has a lot of problems to solve. For example, after this, we may consider this move, and we may even consider this move. E d5, actually even knight takes d5, which is with tempo. Yes, here black has tremendous play, very good. So our play should not be underestimated. After this, bishop e8 wasn't necessary. This knight a5 is good enough. Anyway, bishop e8, f4, and he took on c4, which also makes a lot of sense. And b5. Okay, and we will stop the study of this game around this point. It's an unclear position with chances for both sides. Very good. Let us now check this strange game between two superstars, Mamedyarov with the white pieces and Abdusatorov with the black pieces. Let's check this game. So knight f3, 6. Abdusatorov gives this check and he plays d5. And we are expecting from Mamedyarov to play the main line. Indeed, he gives this check. And he plays here. We need to play a5 now with good play. Yes, Abdusatorov played it. And queen c2. And now, in my view, black must play a4. Instead, he castled. And now there is a3, bishop e7, and b3. I don't like black's position. It's a little bit problematic. This is a position that we should have avoided. However, black managed to win in the end, but this has nothing to do in this rapid game with the objective evaluation of the position. How should black continue in this not so good position? Indeed, the position is not so good, but it is playable and we need to play something. So how should black continue here? What do you think? I only see one possible plan now. All these bishop d7 moves do not make any sense. Now, the only move that makes sense is this one, unfortunately, knight b8, in order to prepare the c5 break. Our tempi are not so good, but we need to do it. So bishop b2 was played, b6, and bishop d3. White is better, but not winning. So c d5, e d5, it is playable. And rook c1, bishop d6, and castles. According to the computer, white has a super strong move here, in fact, in this position, or maybe after this. He has a super strong move, which is this one, difficult. Actually, not here, in this position. g4, very difficult move to find. And now he's threatening this annoying g5, and white has a strong attack. So they played here, and black managed to get a good position after all, and he won the game. Very good. Let's check another game now. Let's check this game. All the games are more or less in the critical line of queen a4 check in some version. So check here, a3. Let me play a game by myself, g3. So I play g3. How should black continue here? Let's see. Here he even has to reckon with this. Okay, let's suppose that this move is not good. How should black continue here, please, after g3? Who will suggest? We rule out dc4, although it appears to be good. So we will definitely play this. Very good. He goes bishop g2. Once again, dc4 may make sense, but we put it aside for now. So how should we continue? We must continue again with bishop d7, of course. This move. Now, he needs to go here automatically. And now we need to play a4. I see another possible. This move is also possible, intending to play a4 now. If white goes a3, we will play a4. If he goes here, again we have a4. Because if he takes it, knight b4 is coming. So let's suppose he castles instead. We play a4, for example, a3. We castle and we have good play. White also has his problems. Actually, maybe this is an even better instead of castling. So here, white also has his problems with this bishop on c1, and we keep a nice balance. Very good. Let's check what happened. a3, bishop e7, e3, and a5. So very well played by Grandmaster Predke with the black pieces and a rating of 2660. So bishop here, he goes bishop d7 here, and a4 exactly as we know it. Castles and castle. In my view, this may even be more accurate. Anyway, he castled and e4. And now he took on e4 and he played h6. He played here h6. Here is a concrete situation where black must play the best moves to have a very good game. So we can take here, in fact, and play f5, very powerful, because if he cannot take here and play this because this is hanging. And so he must play after a5, bishop d3. And now we play here, threatening the pawn. And after this, we play e5 with a nice equal game. This is an equal game. We will play queen f6 on the next move. Both players have some weaknesses. It's dynamic equality. Very good. Instead, black played h6. And now I have the feeling that white does have some advantage. Knight a5, it's not clear, but rook a d1, this is what we were saying, that fixing the structure, remember, is not so effective and powerful when the opponent has strong play in the center. Nevertheless, he puts his knight on b3, he doesn't have anything better to do, and bishop c6. And here he managed to exchange some pieces, release the pressure, and later he won the game. Very good. So you will check, of course, the rest of the game by yourself. And of course, these games have mistakes. Yes, we reached move 25. This is not theory anymore. This is practice. Very good. Again, we check another game which went really wrong for black. So d4, knight of 6. Here e6. Let's see what went wrong. Check. Here d5, queen a4 check. Once again, I show this move. We castle. And now, any other move, we go back. A lot more comfortable. If here we play a5, and if here we play b6, castles, bishop b7, or even c5 immediately, bishop b7. For example, here, c5 with good play for black. cd4, ed4, knight c6, for example, with good play for black. Okay, let's check. Queen a4, knight c6, e3, and here a5 is the move. White seems to know what he's doing, but black, with a rating of 2430, he didn't know. He just plays castling. These are impulsive moves. Just castles, a3. You will find several games in this position, but I decided not to even include this position in our analysis because it's not really good. White will play here. This is a very passive position. We don't want to play like this. So under any circumstances, I don't take on d2. So after a3, he played bishop d6. But this is very far from our plans. But anyway, if he goes here, black is better, white is better after queen c2 and a5, b3. And now he should try Abdusatorov's knight b8 move, but white should be better. Let's check what happened. Bishop d6, non-standard moves. b4 makes sense. dc4, he takes with a knight. a6 and queen c2. This is a horrible situation for black because he doesn't have any pawn play. His position is already strategically lost. He played rook e8 and bishop b2. Terrible position. I would call this like +2, for example. He played bishop f8, bishop d3, and this is just lost. He played here, 95, 97, really very bad. Knight g5, and he even got checkmated. So I collected this game, which was it's a bleach game, which was very badly played. The player with the black pieces has a rating of 2430. Very high level player, but he didn't know the ideas of this game. He didn't know actually any of the ideas, and he lost badly. Very good. Okay, let's continue checking games. For example, this one between white player with the white pieces has a rating of 2067 and black has a rating of 2430. Let's see what happened. Chess, check, very nice. And d5, check here. And now we will see in a while that this is a bad move unless white goes queen a4 check now. If he goes queen a4 check, knight c6 and knight e5, it is playable. So let's see. Check here and e3. So far we are studying logical moves by both sides. As you will see, this move, which you will definitely meet many players will play this move, is much better for black by force, as you will see. And this is very surprising. I couldn't believe a couple of years ago, when I was analyzing these positions, that the computer would immediately point out something like -0.60 or even more. So e3, and black knows what he is doing. He played a5, a3, he played here, and bishop e2. The critical line is the Berke's gambit with queen c2, a4, and now takes bishop b5. This is the critical line. Castles, just a reminder. He takes here, bishop d6, castles, and rook e8 with counterplay, good counterplay. Okay, let's see what happened. Bishop e2, milder move, and black must play. He castled bishop d7 was more accurate. Anyway, castles, bishop here, queen c2, and a4. And white goes e4. Now, if the position was like this, we need to play d4, knight takes e4, exchange everything, and f5. With the position here like this, according to the computer, there is an amazing idea, which is this move, and black knew it. Very rarely we allow the move e5 in such positions, very rarely. This is one of these positions. So if you want to play this position perfectly, you will play knight a5. Taking on e4 is less good, but still playable. So knight e5. What is happening after e5? Very strange. Knight here, threatening to go to f4, of course. And after this, we play g6, threatening to go to f4. For example, here, the problem for white always remains the same. This these pieces on the queen side with knight d2 and bishop c1. Black plays c5, and he's better opening up the queen side. Isolated pawns don't matter, nothing matters. Opening up the queen side where white is so underdeveloped, this is the correct strategy. E d5, black is much better. Very good. So high-level game after e4, knight a5. Knight e5 was played instead. D takes e4, and rook b1. Unfortunately for white, after this, what is happening? Who will help us, please? After this, where everything appears to be good, except for one thing. Black is winning. Who will tell us how is black winning? Very simple. Black will play, of course, this move, threatening the rook and collecting this. So black is already better. We see a very rare situation where white cannot move his pieces. We see a very rare situation in this opening. We saw it several times, yes? But it doesn't exist in other openings. So D takes and rook b1 and knight c6, very powerful move, keeping the extra pawn. Queen c3, bishop e8, and black has kept his extra pawn. Bishop takes, there is no compensation for the pawn. And later, after calculations and everything, black managed to win this very good position. Save, yes, okay. Very high level game. Let's check now what is happening here. So d4, knight f6. Let's check the mistake, very possible mistake by white. So after this, white goes knight e5. Actually, I would like to check it here in these notes. Just a second. So let's check it here where I have all the analysis. So bishop b4 check. He goes here and d5 and queen a4 check. And knight e5, which is simply a very bad move, knight e5. So black plays bishop d7. Look what is happening now. We are threatening knight takes d4. Yes, he cannot play something like this, for example, because we take this pawn. Am I right? No. Actually, no, what am I saying? After this, it's not even in the computers. We are winning a piece like this. So knight c6, white must either take on d7 or on c6. Let's see. First of all, if he takes here, queen takes, we are threatening to take on d2 and then take on d4. He plays e3, and now we have this super powerful move. Indeed, this variation, you must know it by heart. And after d takes, we play knight e4. The analysis continues a bit, but it's enough if you know up to this point. For example, here and long castling, it turned into coffee house play. White is almost losing by force here. He needs to be very careful. So he wasn't expecting here, and dc4 is very strong, you will see, and queen g4, he cannot move. He wasn't expecting such a turn of events. So knight e5 is particularly bad. Once again here, and if he takes it, queen takes, e3, e5 takes, and here. Very good. What is happening after knight takes c6? Let's see. After knight takes c6, which has been played several times, even by good players with the white pieces, we take on d2, and we take here. He goes here, and now we take on c4. He takes back, and everything appears to be very good for white. And yet black has a huge advantage here. He is almost winning with this powerful move, knight e4. Now, white must play bishop e3. If he plays this, black has queen f6. And after bishop g3, he has h5. Look at this tremendous energy by black. Two bishops do not matter here. The attack is what matters. And after f3, we take it and we castle long. And black is much better here. And finally, again, knight e4. So here, queen f6. And there is no bishop g3. And if he plays e3, everything seems to be good for white, but it's not. How should black continue here? Black to play and get a winning position. Let's see who can find it. So it's either going to be g5 or knight takes f2. According to my computer, knight takes f2 is the move. And g5 with a winning attack. White doesn't have any compensation for this powerful attack. So we go back. How did this happen? White didn't see it coming. Knight e5. Many players will do that. Bishop d7. Knight takes c6. Check. We take it. We take here. Knight here. And if he is careful enough, he will play bishop e3. But whenever we see bishop e3, we make this maneuver. Knight d6. Don't forget to play this maneuver. And knight f5. Very powerful. White can hardly move again. He cannot play g3, for example. If he castles long, still he has to develop his king side somehow. So he plays here. And for example, queen d6. We want to castle long and attack. He has a very unnatural position. For example, e3. And now even knight h4 with big problems for white. Very good. Save. Okay. Let's check a couple of games here in this style. Just a second. So, just a second. Let me find one or two games here. Yes, here it is. So here, white, who blundered this idea and played this mistake, has a rating of 2400. And with the black pieces, it's famous grandmaster Gabriel Sargisyan. So knight takes, bishop takes there, and bishop takes, and dc4, he takes it. If he plays e3 here, then obviously we will keep our extra pawn like this. If he goes b3, we will go bishop e4. So dc4, queen takes e4, knight here, and bishop here, and the correct move is queen f6. Black must play queen f6 here, e3, and knight takes. Instead, black mixed his analysis and he blundered. And he is now losing after knight takes f2. He remembered that there is such an idea. Listen, black, although he is a super strong player, he fell victim of this typical mistake. Remember, avoid this mistake. Which mistake? If you are not sure 100% that knight takes f2 is the move, then do not play, do not pretend that you know theory. Sit down on the chair carefully, slowly, calmly, and calculate. This is the answer. So Sargisyan played knight takes f2. I'm sure that he played it quite fast, thinking that this is the theory. No, he should have calculated a while. After this, he reached a lost position but nevertheless he managed to win. Here white didn't play e3, of course, and g5. He played this move, and all of a sudden there is not enough compensation for the extra piece. Because, however, he's a better player, he continued later and he managed to win the game. Save. Okay, very good. So, just a second. Yes, here is one of these games where a player, in a standard game, a player of 2430 lost against a player of 2300 because he didn't know the theory he took here. This typical mistake, and dc4, and knight here. And whenever we see this, we go knight d6, knight f5. Black knew it very well, and he played it. And now there is problem. He is threatening to take on c7, but of course, we know one thing here. Even if you don't remember what is the best move, should I take on d4 or not? You have one important information. Black is better by force. You know it because we have already mentioned that this is a bad move for white, this 95. So all you need to do is find a solution to an exercise where you know that there is a solution. So queen takes d4, he is much better. Bishop takes here. And he played this move, which is interesting. Even this is a much better endgame for black. He played here, hoping to play against against his development, which he made it. Finally, he won material, and he won the game. Very good, very high level game. Let us now check, just a second, another game here. Let me find it. So it's this game. So let's see. Check d5, and white plays cd5, which is a mistake unless he continues with queen a4. Indeed, here he plays the right move, queen a4, knight c6, and knight e5. Don't make any mistake. This knight e5 is playable. If I put a pawn on e6, a black pawn on e6, and a white pawn on c4, then for concrete reasons, for absolutely concrete reasons, as we saw, black is much better. But this position is playable. In fact, black may even have some trouble if he doesn't know what to do. There is a very powerful move. Here, black played bishop d6, which is quite good, and he has a lot of compensation. According to the computer, this move is super powerful. a5 first. We sacrifice a pawn, and now there is a lot of compensation. We castle, and you must definitely not be afraid of sacrificing such pawns for an attack. If you are afraid, this fear will keep you back. So after, for example, e3, black has this powerful move intending queen h4, and he is almost winning. You see, our tremendous lead in development does count for something. Bishop here, queen g4 with a very big advantage. For example, after taking, bishop takes, and after castling, how should black continue here? We have already developed a feeling for such positions thanks to the gambit of the game Gelfand Ferencberg's. How should black continue? I believe we can easily tell by now. So the move is definitely rook a6, very good. Passing the rook, this is not possible because of here. It's a very strong attack. So rook a6, and the rook is coming to one of these squares with a very quick checkmate. Sacrifices will follow if necessary, and black will win fast. So this is the gambit. Castling, according to the computer, a3 is the best move, bishop here, and e3, and there is still a lot of compensation. For example, here, the computer finds this amazing move to continue the attack, and c5 with chances to bring even this rook on from the 5th rank in the attack. So here black has very powerful compensation. Is it possible that you will ever get this position? I don't believe so. It is rather rare, but still we need to know it. Very safe. Yes. Okay. Let's check now a couple of more games. For example, this game between Wesley So and Mamedyarov. We have already mentioned this game. So d5, check, a3, we go here, and e3, a5 is the move, we know it. And here, this move was played. Let me remind you, the game by Gelfand is queen c2, a4, takes, here, castles, here, and here with compensation. So let's see what happened. However, before, here we take on c4, and this knight takes is a mistake by Wesley. So, see, there is some concrete stuff. We have already mentioned it. b5 and bishop here, and a takes b4. Black is better. White took on g7, which is a further mistake. You see, even Wesley saw with a rating of 2760, he didn't know the theory. So they played here, b takes a3, and he even took on g2. Black is coming from left and right. And here there is calculation. Now, nothing else but calculation. Some obviously very powerful moves. And he managed to win in the end. Very good. So that was the line with this d5 gambit. If you have any questions, we are always ready to answer. Here I see another game in the game collection where g3 was played this time, and the plan should be the same. a5, he castles, bishop d7. Here, if we give the move to white after b3, he has a big advantage, but with black to move, a4, and there is nice counterplay, knight rook d1 and knight a5. So we came across this position with the white bishop on e2, on d3, or even on g2. Our plan is always the same. This is how we organize our pieces, and quite often we want to continue with c5. Very good. Here, for example, bishop e8, and here he played knight d7. This was an even better move, dc5, bishop takes c5. At a good moment, we play with an isolated pawn because we have very active pieces. So that was the theoretical part of this line in the Bogo Indian. It is a very powerful line. No matter if your opponent knows theory or not, we are trying to get very good counterplay and even put a lot of pressure with black. Don't be afraid after studying these lines. If your opponent knows this idea by Gelfand to win a pawn, one pawn or two, because black has a very powerful attack. And generally, the evaluations of the computer in the end, if you analyze for hours, are, guess what? 0, 0, 0. So I would like to thank you all for participating. And of course, I will see you again in half an hour, where we will see a really a good and interesting line against the powerful Catalan, which is also my choice as white. I always play the Catalan. So that would be all for now. See you in half an hour and bye-bye.